Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Brightworks and another top-level match of Beyond All Reason. Super excited to bring you this game today on Delta Siege Dry Remake, and we've got some real players in the chat today. Spawning on the eastern side and representing the blue team, it's going to be Ragna himself wearing that lovely little Viking hat. Super excited to see what this 62 True Skill Gold Star Commander has in store for us today. Spawning on the other side of the map, oh, very interesting. Gonna be partnering up, I guess, with one of his other teammates here. We have ZZZ going to be snoring his way through the match today as an Armada commander. However, clearly has some cheeky plays in mind here. Going to be teaming up with Pyrotech on the western side of the map of the, as the red team leader. And building, I guess, some sort of a cheeky commander drop. Okay, so we're building a transport. I'm guessing this transport is to move over here, as some of the other spectators are commenting, and some of the players are commenting. Yeah, I'm guessing that commander is going to move on over to this island. Capturing this center island right here is super important on Delta Siege Dry Remake. We've seen it used quite often as a way to build a tactical missile launcher, the Cortex Tactical Nuclear Missile Launcher, and send missiles on over to bombard this base over here. It's a very, very powerful tool. ZZZ is going to land and is going to capture this center island, lickety-split. It's a very greedy start to spawn over here, but yeah, I mean, I guess it works out, right? You're missing a player in the backline here, but all that means is that Flo, another very high-level player, is going to have a whole bunch of metal extractors, a whole bunch more metal extractors, 2 times as many metal extractors, in fact, under their belt and available. Should be quite interesting. Now, ZZZ did get the metal extractor, got a wind turbine, and is going to go for some anti-air towers. Hopefully that will be to shoot down the transport carrying Ragna. Unwise. Yeah, Ragna, I think, sniffs this out as he realizes there's just no way the commander's going to make it over there safely. Transport is shot out of the sky, but Ragna's commander does land on the ground. He's going to settle for capturing the low ground here. This is a very experienced player, so I'm not surprised that he sniffed that out, but it is fortunate that he did. I certainly would have flown my transport directly into this hill, gotten it sniped, lost my team the game, and yeah, all would have been unwell. Resbot here, not a constructor bot, a Resbot, get those mixed up all the time, has been constructed here and handed over to ZZZ. I'm guessing this is going to be used to potentially eat up a bunch of these plants that lay around on DSDR. So what do you do about... Oh, interesting. So Pyrotech actually moved his way back here rather than giving all this over to Flo, which is interesting. Not the end of the world, but I definitely expected Flo, who is typically the player in the tech position here, to go for a little bit more of an aggressive early metal extractor expand, but instead it looks like Pyrotech is going to be in charge of that, which is pretty interesting. I lost my train of thought and I can't remember what I was going to talk about. I do like this aggression all the way across the map here. We do see that Watch Me Fail This is sending rovers across, blasting down metal extractors wherever and whenever possible. 1 mech goes down. Definitely worth it for the rover. That's always going to be a worthwhile trade. More rascals and rovers patrolling all over the place, though, and this is what I love about these matches, is just how quickly we get up to speed here. John Hunter is doing a great job of pushing forward, and that's going to mean that there's a 4 metal per second income bonus to his economy, as opposed to the forces of 200 IQ Ural. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. So assuming that this player is not playing right here, right? This player usually contributes to the front in this sort of a way. Assuming that this player isn't contributing to the front like that, it means that you essentially are going to have a much more lenient front. Might explain why John Hunter is having a slightly easier time on the front here, building up his forces and getting these LLTs into place. But also, it's unlike these players to remain idle in the back, right? So I'm sure there's going to be contributions all over the place. You can see Pyrotech building these metal extractors and handing them over to ZZZ, who is going to build a forward vehicle lab and go for a little bit of aggression. Missile trucks here, very powerful. Definitely quite good for besieging any of these positions that are a little bit tricky to navigate bots into. Aggravators here, firing away at long range, and I mean, I like that. That's very good, going to apply that constant and incrementally increasing pressure here as more and more of these aggravators do step up to the front line. Ragna with the low ground constructor. He did, however... Oh, a little bit of a pause right there. Anyways... a little bit of a pause, but we did see Ragna lose a couple of his metal extractors up here. That is really unfortunate. They will be resurrected eventually by Skibat. Hopefully he hands those over, but that will, at the very least, take a little bit of metal out of the pockets of Ragna. Huge aggression across the map over here as pawns have run by into the base of John Hunter, and now those pawns have torn this place to shreds. Solar panels going down left, right, and center. Metal extractors scuffed up. This one's scuffed up pretty bad. This one over on the top side did go down already. Looks like a commander died on the front line up here up north. It was a little bit of a commander trade between Skibat and Kayuma, who both lost their commanders up north. Very, very nice. Nice for Kayuma, I should say. Yeah, Skibat's in a little bit of trouble here. Action all over the map. Don't even know where to look. ZZZ in a little bit of trouble. Aggravators here firing away. Very effective now that we've masked them, and I think those aggravators have hit the snowball effect quite a bit quicker than these missile trucks. You really need so many of those missile trucks to start one-shotting any of these units. It's very, very difficult. Oh, ZZZ looking to calm bomb Ragna potentially here. He is going to get it. The calm bomb will connect, and that will be Ragna's commander going down as well as ZZZ's. I'm a little bit surprised. I thought commanders couldn't die. I thought when a commander is shot out of the air like that, it doesn't do any damage on the ground. I guess that is not true. Aggravators eventually shut down this whole production facility, but with that nearly 3,000 metal, sorry, nearly 2,500 metal, all the wrong buttons today, there we go. Switching into my metal vision is what I'm trying to do here. 2,500 metal. Eaten up here by Pyrotech, and of course going back into the red team's pockets, definitely going to be their advantage. More aggravators coming up here, but none of that metal is going back to the blue players. This is a decisive victory here for the red team. Pyrotech even moving in a construction turret to eat up some of this wreckage here, going to resurrect the vehicle lab, but I feel like the rest of this is probably just going to get eaten up right away. Uh-oh. A little bit of a siphoning effect as these guys try to repair this thing, and the bot tries to consume it. There we go. Eventually that is remedied. Nicely done. Signal 777 is going to move north here with a bunch of missile trucks trying to get a little bit of an engagement. Try and shut down some of the recuperations that are going on by the red team here, patching together their labs and whatnot. I like to see it. Our Baron and Chief Panda fighting it out in the middle of the map. There are Wolverines here for that besiegement potential. Going to be raining down death from all over. Oh, Commander went down. Oh, went down to the LLTs. That's a bit surprising. Was not expecting that whatsoever. Yeah, that's Pyrotech's commander going down. That's quite odd. Signal's commander has managed to push up here in addition to his forces here from the missile trucks. Going to repel all of this, and now suddenly a 1.25 thousand metal donation has been handed right over to, well, I guess not to oh no, it is to Ragnar. That's his Resbot. I thought that might have been the Resbot that patched up these labs here. Okay, that slightly balances out the advantage here. Slightly balances out the advantage. If we take a look at the metal produced here, you can see that the blue team trails in metal produced by about 3,000 metal, give or take. A little less than that, about 2,500 metal. Not the end of the world, but certainly an advantage that can grow over time. Now this I really like to see. There's a gunslinger that was brought out on the map, and that gunslinger can shut down virtually any of these T1 units, right? It'll shut down the tanks efficiently. It'll shut down a whole lot of those bots very efficiently. There's really a whole lot that the gunslinger can do, and it's a very, very effective unit for breaking these lines and contributing to siege. It's not really a siege unit, but it can soften up lines and make them a whole lot easier for Wolverines, for shell shockers, for hounds, for any sort of siege unit to get a little bit more out of their metal cost. Tanks walking around in the middle of the map here. John Hunter's looking for the engagement. Chief Panda and Barkus are trying both to intercept these tanks, but they're avoiding both commanders here. Tanks are going to head north, and Ural is slightly out of position. Yeah, these tanks are going to head right into the base. That's a 3 metal extractor going down. Bot Lab is in a whole lot of trouble here as these brutes also make their way in. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Wind turbines going down as well as another metal extractor. Constructor even falls. Oh no, the construction turret ate up the lab before Ural was able to do anything about it. That is a tremendous amount of damage for a very, very light commitment of tanks right there. Ural is forced to pull his commander back, but that does weaken this front line quite a bit as the gunslinger is now free to roam inward. Aggravators accidentally shooting their friend in the back here at the end of the world, as that boy can just heal himself back up, and you can see Ragna microing this guy to its absolute maximum potential, firing away at any of these that it can. Really need to pop that build power back there. There it goes, and you can see it's starting to level up as well. Our Baron has moved all the way forward, even deguns down the facility right here. Oh, well, maybe he didn't clip it. Might have just done just barely enough damage. And this is looking very bad for the red team. What looked like a very stark advantage right here was suddenly thrown out the window by the sacrifice of that commander. And that gunslinger give was just phenomenal. Very, very powerful stuff. Really like to see that. Teamwork to the dream work. Chief Panda going to try and hold this southern side, but there's just so much wreckage here that's going to be available. Wow, I'm missing all the commander's deaths here today. Our Baron loses his commander on the front line as well, but it's no problem as his forces are still well and healthy, and they're going to be holding on for quite some time. Shell Shockers, Lashers, Pounders, that's what those are called, and Brutes, all making up a beautiful composition. Watch me fail this. Moving in here, going to try and secure this wreckage field. Wouldn't mind seeing him eat up that commander wreck. The other commander does go down up here. It's going to be Barkus, and John Hunter will easily eat up that wreckage. Shurikens are coming out in numbers to try and paralyze any of these that they can. Missile trucks, of course, are the direct counter to the Shuriken, so not going to have too much of an effect, as you saw all 4 of them get shot down by a single missile. Still, they did manage to paralyze one of them, so I guess it's all right. This gunslinger staying alive is so threatening, though. Their range does increase as they get into and out of combat. The more rank they have, the more their range increases, making them very, very dangerous with just a couple of levels under their belt, because they can start to outrange even the commanders. And a gunslinger versus commander is definitely a gunslinger-sided fight. That's the word. Chief Panda now walking out into the middle, trying to bait these units away from pushing in, but I think our Baron just has a little bit more sense, and he's going to push these units in for the kill. I think we have enough to break this line. Definitely the green forces have enough here. The missile trucks are running away, though, and they're getting a decent trade against these units uphill. All the units are very slow up this little hill. Determined to catch a single commander dying today. And there it is. Gunslinger will get the kill on that commander, and it cements its place as a silver star or a silver bar unit. There you go. Name drop not intended. Final commander for the red team does go down, and that is going to be a quick but decisive turnaround victory for the blue team. From what looked like an unrecoverable fate right there, they managed to whip this all the way around with a concerted effort all across the field, taking some excellent trades, pushing where they needed to. What a quick game. Love these high-level matches because they're so aggressive, so out the gate. All that in under 12 minutes. Hope you enjoyed today. I hope you'll drop a like down below, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next daily Beyond All Reason video. Peace out, folks.